Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Racer on Demand podcast. I am Amanda Vandenelzen, the founder of Racer on Demand, and here with me I have Megan Meyer. Hi, Megan.
Hi, thank you so much, Amanda, for inviting me onto the Racer on Demand podcast. I love that we're doing this.
I'm so excited. I mean, I give the credit to you. This was totally your idea, so I can't claim credit on this one at all.
Yeah, but no, like yeah. So I think we started talking about it in January this year, which like it's crazy because we're almost to November now. So yeah, 11 months of talking about doing a podcast, but we're finally doing it. But yeah, like I said, I was like, you're really like the top of my list of who I would want to do a podcast with. So I love that we're
And
finally doing it.
I'm so excited about that. Like, I honestly, Megan, like, I looked up to you so much for so long. So when you were like, I thought of you immediately for a podcast, I was like, oh, this is so weird, but I love it.
Yeah, no, I love what you're doing, like with Racer on Demand, like, and just love following like you and Chris, and like just you could tell how much passion you guys have for racing, and yeah, I just love it. And and you're an amazing educator and speaker as well. So it's like you got the
Oh.
perfect voice for a podcast too, I think.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm so honored, honestly, to be side by side with you on this. And I'm really excited that like you and I are just going to co-host this thing moving forward. So being able to bring your expertise from a completely different motorsport and a completely different way of partnering with companies too, I think is going to be really cool. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's like my idea for what the podcast is all about is like how can we collaborate and bring the industry together instead of it trying to be divided. And yeah, like how can we work together for sponsorships and help other racers get better sponsorships and make better deals and just help out the like motorsports as a whole? Because not like there's anything wrong with it, but just always trying to evolve and get better with it.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you about what you've been working on in the background here, but it's funny you mentioned, working together instead of like, being combative or divisive, right? And Chris asked me earlier this week, he's like, the thing that like Megan's promoting, he's like, doesn't that kind of feel like it's, kind of the same stuff that you do with Racer on Demand? And I was like, yeah, that's kind of the point. Like, and he's like, you're not like concerned about that or like feeling any kind of way. Like he wasn't saying I should be, but he was like kind of feeling it out to see where I stood on it. And I was
Yeah.
like, the more people, the better, Chris. Like the more people out here giving racers information, the better. Like no one of us can do the best job by ourselves. So I love
Yeah.
that.
I think so too. And like this year, I have taken a step back of doing more one-on-one and more of like my group coaching programs. And I've been doing more collaborations with other people that are sponsorship coaches or educators. And it's kind of like eye-opening that like I thought I was the only one, but I'm not. Like there's other people out there that are doing similar styles or like teaching the same stuff in different ways. And so this year I've been able to work with a few people and do collaborations together on educational stuff and webinars and lessons and all that. And, Alex Streiler, who's my personal mentor, and he's the one who really showed me like what the education side of this could be. And because I asked him, I was like, hey, like, you're always going to be like, you're the one that I look up to. Like, I'm always going to work with you. But like, would you be okay if I worked with this other person who is kind of like his competitor? And Alex was like, same thing, like, same response you just said. He was like, when it comes to the digital space or like coaching or mentoring, like, there's no limit. Like, there's really no like, hey, like you can only work with one person. Like, yeah, like try to work with everybody because everybody's got their own different experiences and their own different point of views, and it can help in different ways. And he's like, because he used to work at Lucas Oil, he's like, it's not like when you're choosing an oil for your car or your truck, like you can only go with one. He's like, when it comes to like the digital products, you can go with as many as you want to. So he's like, go ahead, like work with as many people as you want to. And so that has like really opened my eyes of like, okay, yeah, like I can do my own coaching program and I can promote someone else's coaching program at the same time. Hopefully it helps out racers. And I've also worked with coaches that I didn't uh like didn't get much from them, and it's just like that just wasn't the person for me. And so it's just like,
Mhm.
I kind of learned that, and now I know like what else to look for when it comes to when I'm seeking education and mentorship. And so yeah, I feel like with the online space, with like what we're doing, like it's not like you just have to pick one and stay with it. Like you can tap into all of it.
Yes, yes, I love that. And speaking of some of the collaborations you've done, I know last week you had a collaborative event, right? How did that go?
Yeah. Yeah, it went really well. So I worked with Michaela Connor, and so she had approached me earlier this summer, and it was just like, "Hey, can we do like a reel together of how to do like a sponsored post?" And that turned into like I had this entire idea of like, well, let's not just do one reel, let's turn it into an entire webinar. And so we've been working on this webinar for like the last 2 months. And so we came out with a guide called Get Paid to Post. And so inside that guide is 6 ways of how racers can get paid to post. Now there's some beginner level, some more advanced, and some, really advanced strategies in there, because I know, especially with the audience that I do have online, I'm able to reach a lot of different followers, or not followers, but a lot of different racers that are at different stages in their career, especially with social media. And so yeah, so today I just kind of wanted to go over like what I taught in that masterclass, because I feel like it is going to be so helpful for racers when it comes to like, especially now in the off season, of like, what is it that I should post, or what should be like valuable to a sponsor, to a company that I want to work with, and what are like different ways, basically, how can I get a return on investment from my social media? And so that's what it was all about.
I'm so excited for this because I will tell you that social media is an opportunity for me. I honestly, I look to you as the expert in this space, especially as it relates to, racing and motorsports and like how to actually build value with social medias. Everybody, not everybody, many people come to us and they're like, your social media is so good. And I'm like, I don't know that it actually is, though.
Yeah.
And if it is at all, I think we're hitting it on accident. So I'm really, really excited to dive into this.
Oh man. Well, and so we do use the same videographer, John. And I've been working with John. So I first met him in 2020, and because he took one of my classes. And then since then I've had him do tons of edits for him, and then this year he's come to like 6 of our races and has actually like started filming us, and he's been great to work with. But yeah, it's funny that you say that too, because I kind of feel the same way of like, people like do come to me, or like Alex is always like, oh, like talk to Megan, she's the social media person. And I'm like, I just like I enjoy it. I don't love it. I enjoy social media sometimes. Like I like to get creative with it. But yeah, I mean, I just see it as part of the job. And
Yeah.
so I try to do my best there. But yeah, sometimes it's just like I think this is good enough. Like I think it's gonna do okay. And then you never know, like with the algorithms, like how many people it's gonna push it out to, or like if it's gonna flop, or if it's going to go viral. Like it's unpredictable. But yeah, but what I taught in the masterclass is this is kind of how you can get some more predictability out of it. And so, yeah, so I'll just dive into with the masterclass. I went like deep dive into 4 ways, and these are more for the beginners.
Yeah.
And so, my very favorite way is to get monetized from the platform. So, this is where social media is paying you to post on their platforms. You can do this with Facebook, you can do it with YouTube, you can do it with TikTok, you can kind of do it with Instagram. That's kind of like a gray area now, like because Instagram used to have bonuses, but they took that away, and now they like will do mini bonuses, where like I have one right now where it's like post 10 photos or post 10 carousels within like 30 days or something like that, but you get like $5 in return. Like it's not very much.
So we know that if you've got a whole bunch of carousels in the next 30 days, we know why, right?
Yes, that is why. So, but yeah, but like with the other platforms, which I'm not on TikTok like for racing, I just use it as like that's my guilty pleasure, like entertainment only, like that I watch on my lunch break. But so for me, I'm really trying to grow my Facebook and my YouTube. And so I do have my Facebook monetized. I don't have YouTube monetized yet because I don't have enough watch hours. And so Facebook is just an invite only for monetization though, which kind of makes it hard because you don't exactly know like what you're aiming for. Like they haven't come out and said, "Hey, you need this many followers or this many views or this many engagement." It's just like you can tell Facebook that you're interested, and then you just got to wait for them to come back to you and be like, "Okay, we'll give you money now."
Yeah.
But when you do YouTube, it is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watched within 12 months. And so I've got the 1,000 subscribers, and posting shorts on YouTube, I was able to get a lot of subscribers, thankfully. But I haven't hit the 4,000 watch hours threshold yet. For
Mm.
everyone that's listening or watching to this, go and watch my videos on YouTube so I can get that 4,000 hours. But yeah, so I love like, because once you have that turned on, it's just passive income. Like there's no extra work you need to do. It's just based on the performance of your post. So of course you need to, try to grow your views, try to grow your followers, try to grow your engagements, and you need to post consistently and frequently so that way you can continue to grow that. But once it's turned on, then you don't ever have to touch it again. And so that's what makes it my favorite. I am able to make a few $100s each month just from Facebook alone. And that's been really amazing because that pays for my entry fees to go
Yeah.
racing each month. And it kind of covers that cost for us. And like I said, once it's on, you don't really have to do anything else other than just trying to keep it going and grow it bigger. So yeah, so I love that. If you are eligible for it, just go to your Facebook professional dashboard. You'll see it in the menu. There's monetization. You just click on that and then it will tell you if you are invited or eligible or if it's not available for you yet. And so yeah, so that's like the easiest one. The next one on the list is affiliate links. And so I'm sure everybody that's listening has done an affiliate link before. I've done tons of them. I still do them every now and then, but I try to stay away from them because it usually ends up where the brands kind of want a lot more from you than what you're actually getting in return. And especially if, you got to read the agreements, because especially if they say in there something like the brand has the usage rights or the brand can own the content that you are posting for them in exchange for an affiliate link or a discount, or maybe they give you free product, but still they shouldn't have the option to own that content or to request like edits to it unless they're paying you to do so. And so we'll get into that next with the UGC content. So affiliate links, it's really easy to start because most of the time now it's just an application that you fill out on the website. And usually it's in like the footer menu at the bottom of the brand's website. But what I don't like about affiliate links is you don't really get much in return. So you've got to like really push and sell these products, and you get maybe 10, 15, 20% of like a commission. And sometimes they'll have a certain threshold. So like if you don't sell $50 worth, then you don't get that money until you reach $50, and then they'll send you a check or your PayPal. And so I feel like with the affiliate links, that's just a really easy way for the brands to be like, hey, like we're not sponsoring right now, but we'll give you this discount or we'll give you this affiliate link and your commission could be endless. So maybe you could make $100 or a couple $100 a month. But in order to do that, you've really got to push. You've got to make a ton of content to do that. You've got to do a ton of sales. And 10, 15 years ago, it used to be a lot easier because it was more rare. Nowadays, like for me, I've probably got 20 affiliate links that I could be promoting, and I'm sure everybody else out there has affiliate links or discounts that they could promote and make a commission from. And so it's just a lot more saturated now. And so I like will use them every now and then. If I know like, hey, I'm kind of close to that threshold, then maybe like I'll make a post just to try to see if I could get a couple more sales to kind of reach that. But other than that, I kind of stay away from them. And so the next one on my list is UGC. And so this is like the next step up from affiliate links, and that's user generated content. So this is where you're creating content for the brands and you don't have to post it yourself, which makes it pretty fun, especially if you are someone that loves to create content. So if you love to make videos or take pictures, then UGC is probably the right path for you. And it is also one of the fastest growing ways that people are making money on social media. So this is where you'll see stay-at-home moms, college students, Gen X, Gen Z, like they're able to make decent income. It could be a couple $100 a month. It could be a couple $1,000 a month just by making content. And like I said, you do not have to post it onto your social media pages. And brands love this because it's been proven that content that's created by someone that could be like a brand ambassador or someone that is just like more of a real human being versus it just being kind of like a corporate graphic, it is able to just do better. It's able to reach more people. It does not have to be a high production, like super professional commercial. It could literally just be something that you film on your phone. Maybe it takes you an hour to do it. And then sometimes you don't even have to edit it. Sometimes the companies just want you to send them the different videos. And also sometimes the companies will send you the exact script of what they want you to say. So it's easier for you, right? And then they will do all the editing and turn it into a commercial that they want. But they just want you to film it because it is going to perform better. I believe the stat is 12 times of a return on investment of what brands are getting versus them doing their own ads or their own organic posts to try to promote their products. So you don't need 10,000 followers. You don't need any followers because you don't need to post it to your page. What you do need though, if you want to go the route of UGC, is you need a portfolio. So I suggest at least 5 videos that you have made for another brand, or you could like they could be videos that you can go and make right now. You don't have to post them, like I said. So maybe it's like I have right here some essential oils. So maybe I could go and make a video about how I like these essential oils. They calm me down or they help me focus, and I like to use them while I work. And then I can put that in my portfolio, and then I can reach out to either this brand or I could reach out to other brands that sell products like essential oils or that go with it, like diffusers, and they can see, oh, hey, like she's already made this type of video. And then it's just to show your creativity and show your experience with it. So this is big for brands because they want your content and they will pay for it. So it could be anywhere from $100 for one video, or if you're able to work with a company a few times, you might be able to secure them as a retainer client. And this is where people are able to make like a good like full-time income from it, because they could have, let's say there's 5 companies that they work with and they have a retainer to do $2,000 each month from those 5 companies. Well, that's $10,000 a month. Like that's a really good income that you could get. Again, this is for someone if you love to create. It could be just pictures. It could be videos. Videos nowadays are everyone likes videos. And so like I said, it can be really easy because you would just need your phone. Like you would need a good tripod, a good microphone, and a good light. And I think that's all you need to do that.
Wow, that's so cool though. Like thinking about how simple that could be to get into. Like you don't have to have a ton of
Yeah.
followers. You don't have to be a professional racer. You can just go find a brand that you're already passionate about, you're already using, and say, "Hey, I've got some user generated content for you. Do you want to buy it off of me?" Essentially,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then what you can do is you to get a longer like shelf life out of it is then so you could say, hey, yes, like I'll make you a video, you can use it for 30 days, and then they'll come back to you
Mhm.
and be like, hey, we loved your video, can we use it more? And you would just charge like a percentage, like 30% more for what they paid for that video for them to keep using it month after month after month. So then that's
Oh
more
yeah.
income for you. You don't have any extra work because you already made the video, and it was proven to be like a really good advertisement for them, so they want to keep using it. So yeah, so they can just keep buying it from you. And so yeah, I like disclosure, like I'm going to be doing a lot more UGC content next year. And because like once I started really doing like the research of how much money you could make from it, and like I enjoy making content, and it's like, hey, like this could maybe turn into like a real thing that I do. And I'm thinking like of all these products like that I use every day, from like food to like skincare to clothes, like stuff that I would have never thought of because it's not racing related. I
Yeah.
didn't think there was, like anything there. But now like I've opened my eyes up to it, and it's like, oh hey, like there's a lot of possibilities here. So I'm going to be exploring that next year with my posts. And so the last one that I have on my list is this is where you do sponsored posts and brand collaborations. And so this is where you do get paid to post it onto your own page. So this is where you take that UGC video that you made, you can sell it to the brand, but then you can also offer to post it onto your page and charge them for it because they are getting the exposure. Maybe they add an affiliate link to it as well. So maybe there's a chance you could make a little commission off of it too. But this is where like the term being an influencer comes from. And like I know some people like hate that word. I don't hate it. I don't think it has like any negative meaning in my head. But I don't know. I guess maybe I've just kind of been, because I feel like race car drivers are naturally influencers because you're always, you've got logos on the side of your car, like you're always like promoting products, like or doing samples at your pits. And so I feel like we're all just naturally influencers, whether we want to be or not, but we just need to move it into the digital space. And so, one platform that I know you are familiar with that I love to use is called Autofluencer. So this is where, because like people ask me, well, how much do I charge for a post? And so on the masterclass we did, I shared some screenshots of my Autofluencer reporting on there. And so for those that are listening or watching and they don't know what Autofluencer is, it's basically a software that you connect your social media to. And so I believe I know it can do Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn, I believe. And so you just connect your social media to there. It will automatically pull all your insights. If you want to go back for like the entire year, you can, but there is a charge to do that because Facebook will literally charge to be able to look at, I think, like past 60 days or maybe 90 days to look at the insights. And so, but you can do that with Autofluencer. And what I love about it is you tell it to make campaigns. And so the campaign is based on a keyword or a hashtag, or if you tagged a brand in the caption. And so it won't read the comments, it'll just read what's in the caption. And so we do reports for all of our partners. I do monthly and quarterly, and then I'm going to do a year-end report because we're about to come up on that in a couple months. And so that will give a dollar amount. It's called earned media value. And so like one of our posts for Gonk, I believe we got like $12,000 worth of earned media value. So that doesn't mean I'm going to get paid $12,000 to do this post, or I'm not going to get paid from the platform to make this post. But what that means is if Gonk wanted to do an ad on, say, Facebook, they would have had to pay around that much in order to reach as many people as we did with this post, because it's based off of your views, your engagement, and your followers. And so the higher those numbers are, the higher the dollar amount is that you get for your earned media value. And so what I also taught in the masterclass, though, is you don't charge that much. You divide it by 3 or whatever agreed upon return on investment ratio you have with the company. Sometimes they want 4, sometimes they want 5. And so if we stick with 12, so divide that by 3. So I would charge Gunk $4,000. So I'm going to be cheaper than what they can do to do an ad by themselves. And then, they would have to buy that UGC video from me as well. But also because that gives them a really good return on their investment. So a 3-to-1 ratio. The result of that is they're happy. They want to keep working with us. It builds long-term relationships. And it's able to just actually put like a dollar amount on your social media post. So I'm going to be using Autofluencer a lot more in 2026. So you'll be seeing some collaborations with us there. But that is a software that racers can use right now. And then speaking of year-end reports, what you could do with that is I would do a campaign to see for your post for the entire year and create the campaign based on what sponsor you have. So like sticking with Gunk. So I'll have a year-end campaign for Gunk, and it will show all the posts where I tagged Gunk or I used their hashtag in the caption. And then it will give me that total dollar amount. And so my goal is whatever money I received from Gunk with our sponsorship, I want to have my earned media value be 3 times that number at the end of the year. So again, that helps with renewal, and it helps with the reporting of like, hey, here's what I did for you, and here's how much that brand exposure was actually worth. So I highly suggest that racers look into it. And then that will, like I said, it'll give you the dollar amount of what you would need to charge to post a video onto your page. And again, you can include that in your portfolio.
All right, welcome back. You didn't go anywhere, but we did.
Yes.
So we are back a day later. Megan's in a different spot now with working internet, but we're back and we're going to talk a little bit more about those 4 different ways that Megan talked about how to generate income with social media. So thank you, Megan, for going through that yesterday. I'm glad we were able to get through each of those 4 different ways before we went kaput.
Yes.
But now we get to talk a little bit more, about what that looks like in action. So I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So I know that we talked about, those 4 different ways. We talked about monetizing your social media posts just straight through the platforms. We talked about affiliate marketing, being able to sell the products that you're highlighting in social media. And we talked about user generated content, being able to sell the content that you're creating. And then those true partnerships, collaborative work on social media where companies are paying you to post the things and reach your networks. Now, as we're thinking about those 4 different ways of making money on social media, my brain goes to, is that sponsorship? Like the ways that we're creating those income streams, do you think that that counts as sponsorship?
I say no, except maybe the last one could be because they are sponsoring the post to put it on your page. But as far as when it comes to more traditional racing sponsorships, it's not the same. So you can do all that. You don't have to add another sticker to your car because that would be something extra that you charge for, right? So that's what, the whole training that I did is like trying to think outside of the box instead of sticking with the traditional advertising, traditional exposure, doing activations at the track, just trying to be like, hey, we get this many people in attendance at our races, and this is how many eyeballs could see your logo on our car, like at the event or on a broadcast stream or, any TV exposure, all that. That's kind of more the traditional way. And over the last 10 years, the way how we've been able to have successful sponsorships is to just think outside of the box and really lean on social media to be that asset for us. And so we can keep that completely separate. And I've been able to work with numerous brands that have never been on my car. I don't have to do any sampling for them, like at the track, or any extra displays or anything like that. And so, there's pros and cons to each, right? But I feel like it's a way to just expand your horizon If you are someone that is very creatively driven, then this new way I feel like is the best way for you to think about sponsorships and how could you maybe just approach a brand, start out by, affiliate link and then move on to UGC and then move on to sponsored posts. And then if it is successful, then maybe you can pitch to them, hey, why don't you sponsor my car? Like we've done this much together. It's been very successful. Let's take it to the next level and do a logo on the car or do a whole wrap on the car and see how much else exposure and awareness, or maybe it's sales or lead generation or research and development. There's so many different avenues when it comes to kind of more the traditional side. But yeah, I mean, basically, I don't consider it a sponsorship when you do your social media posting and all that.
Yeah. I love that you said that, it's something additional. Like, I think that a lot of times racers, we get caught up in like, oh, I'm looking for a sponsorship. That's how I fund my program is I get a sponsorship and this company
Yes.
pays me money and I get them exposure, right? Like that's the traditional way of
Mhm.
thinking about it. But through social media, you have an opportunity to bring in income through a different stream outside of sponsorship. And just because you're getting money for the things that you're generating through your race program does not mean that it's a sponsorship. Those are very different things. And I would totally agree with you on that. I know, some of our business partners, social media is part of our partnership, but we don't have anything that, that is our sponsorship is through social media. It's just not a true collaborative effort if that's the only thing that it's based around.
Yeah, and yeah, there's like, I mean, I like what you said. Like most people kind of are relying on like the exposure value and all that, but nowadays there's really like the value of a logo on the car is going down. And it could just be the number of eyeballs could, be seeing it less. Or also the thing is, I notice with racers, especially kind of more in the professional ranks, I see is they're just putting stickers everywhere they can because they just want to sell like every single inch on the car. And it kind of sounds good, but it actually lowers the value because you have, this limited space and then you have to divide it up. And the more you divide it up, the less value it is for each company and each sticker that you have on there. Whereas if you just have one giant sticker that takes up the whole side of your car, your truck or machine, they're going to get the most value out of it. And I know racers that, and I've done this myself too, where I'll just get a very small like affiliate link or like a very small commission, and I'll go ahead and put the sticker on the side of my car because I think like, oh, that's going to help me make more commission. Like people will see this on my car and they're going to buy this product, and it doesn't happen. So
Yeah.
the sticker on the car is just one piece of the puzzle. There's a lot more other pieces that go to it to make a sponsorship successful. So, but it all depends on what's that brand goal. So maybe they do just want like research and development. Well, then they don't necessarily care about the exposure or advertisement. They just want to help make better products so they could
Mhm.
then sell more, hopefully use you as a testimonial, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they do want sales, and having like a branded car could maybe help with that, but I feel like you can't just rely on that. Like if you do displays, that's where it could help out, or if you do activations, then I can see it helping out there. But if it's just a typical, hey, I'm going to put your logo on my car and then go do a race, it's not really going to help generate any sales from that.
No.
So yeah, there's just a lot of different aspects when it comes to sponsorship. There's no one size fits all, and it's completely dependent on what the brand's goal is. So
Yeah.
maybe they do just want social media. That's great. If that's what you love to do, then go for it. But yeah, there's definitely different ways you can go about it. But yeah, just making sure that it is the right fit for the brand depending on what they want.
I think, you're talking about the right fit and, having, a fully wrapped, like one brand car, right? I think there's a couple of different ways to look at that, and they do tie back to that social media aspect too. Is like, if you are putting every company that you're touching in any way, right, buying product from maybe at a discounted rate, or doing some user generated content, or doing some affiliate marketing, right? If you're putting those things all over your car, that says to other people that you are doing very little for a lot of people,
Mm,
right? And
yes.
that diminishes your value
Hmm.
versus if you have, like, our truck has Nexen Tire pretty prominently on it. They're one of our biggest partners.
Hmm.
They're still not like a full wrap kind of partner, but they're definitely one of our biggest supporters, right? And when we partner with Nexen Tire, of course, part of our partnership is that social media. Like, they want to reach our fans and our fan base. But when you see that Nexen Tire on the side of our truck, we are the Nexen Tire truck, which means that, like, we as people and as a team, our values are kind of becoming one with that company, right?
Hmm.
When people think of Nexen Tire, they think of the way that we are and the way that we present ourselves at the track or on social media. Like, it all ties together to our own brand. And that brand alignment is super valuable for partners that want to go so far as being really prominent on your race car. So it's not so much like having those eyes on that brand just to see their name and have that as an advertisement. It's more so like, what do you stand for as a racer? And how does that reflect for that company? And how do people associate your brand with that brand? And I think social media is a really powerful avenue to make that correlation and bring those brands kind of more aligned, so that when people see Nexen Tire, they think like, oh, VDE Racing, those guys, they're really cool and I like what they do. They're so innovative. I bet that they wouldn't run a tire that isn't innovative too. You know,
Mm,
I
yes.
think that's something that's really powerful when you're talking about social media, is not just like creating a post because you have to or about the product, but also thinking about what is that value that that brand stands for and that your brand stands for that you can bring together.
Mhm. Yes, I love that you said that, and that's such a good way to put it together. So to quote Alex Stryler again, because I've learned everything from him, but he always says, like every single time he does a coaching call or anything, he always says, "You are an extension of the brand's marketing team. So you are representing them at the races or at trade shows or at a display or an open a house. The kind of the point is like you can go places that they can't go. And so when
Mhm.
you're there and they're not, like especially if they're not there, yeah, you have to represent their values. You have to be able to talk about the product, performance, all that type of stuff. And yeah, I mean, exactly like you said. So if it's a brand that you're just not 100% aligned with, then there could be friction there and it
Mhm.
could be felt on both sides. So, there's like I have turned down deals. I don't know if you guys have ever turned
Mhm.
down a deal before because sometimes like the values just don't align.
Yep.
Like I have a son and I'm very like, family focused now. So if I feel like maybe they're asking for something that would maybe put me in a different light or, just the way how they advertise might be different than like what I'm comfortable with. And I mean, yeah, it might be a great deal, but yeah, if I'm not comfortable with it, knowing that I'm going to represent them, and even years later, people like if the deal goes away, people might still remember from that time. And
Mhm.
so that's something to think about too. Like, like what could the perception be to the public if you were to partner with a brand that you just didn't align with? And so and I feel like the fans would be able to tell that too, like if something was off. So
Yeah.
yeah, very, very good point. I'm glad you brought that up because that is a key in sponsorships. And I know not everybody is just having deals thrown at them and they're just able to, pick and choose what they want. But kind of as you get more experience with motorsports and with sponsorships, there might be a time, or, there might be a company that you love and you have a meeting with them and find out like, oh, maybe there could be something internally that just didn't work out. And I've seen that happen too with some friends that race, unfortunately. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's all different avenues ways to go about sponsorships, but Yeah, we could talk forever about that.
We could. I think it's so important that you bring up that you've turned down deals because they didn't align with your brand, and we have too. And I think it's not always the like values side, right? Like you brought up, it needs to align with the way that you present yourself and your family, right? Like same here. We've definitely had things come up where it's like, this just doesn't feel like a VDE brand.
Yeah.
But I think it also sometimes is like the value, the monetary value, or this negotiated value sometimes isn't right either. We had a brand that we approached and we wanted to do some like creative partnerships. That's kind of where we thrive, is in on-site activations and like creative partnerships and going out to events and really just getting hands-on with people and making those connections. And we had a brand where they were extremely social media focused, and it was like a $500, like not a huge commitment from them, and they wanted X number of posts every month. It needed to be like, if they emailed you and said, we need you to go to Walmart and buy our product and film it, and like they were scripting things for us, so it didn't really feel authentic in any
Mm-hmm.
capacity. Like that wasn't a brand fit for us either. Like that just wasn't the kind of product that we are. So I think it's really important to say, sometimes the product that you're selling is that content generation and needs to feel authentic. And if they're not giving you the value that you think your time is worth, that's not a good fit either.
Yeah, yeah, set your boundaries and know your worth for sure. Yeah, like especially in yeah, kind of like the influencer world, there could be brands that want like 20 videos and they only want to pay you yeah, like $50 for it. And it's like, yeah, like you got to turn those deals down. And like I mean, I guess if you're brand new to it, if you just want the experience, then sure, like kind of like treating it maybe like an internship. But yeah, if you're a more experienced racer and yeah, you should know the value and how much it is that you need in return based off of yeah, like your exposure value. And
Yeah.
yeah, and also that's another, I guess, like another shameless plug for Autofluencer, because I love that it will give you a dollar amount so you can know, hey, like no, like I'm actually worth $1,000, not $500.
Yes.
So just being able to kind of use that as a tool to know like what your worth is and being able to set your boundaries. Because yeah, there will be ones that will try to take advantage of you, that's for sure. But yeah, I love that you said like it just didn't feel authentic for your team. Because yeah, you guys are very like people. Yeah, I love, and that's like one of the reasons like that drew me and Adam to you and Chris. Just how like open you guys are, and with us getting into short course, like you guys have been so helpful, not only with gear for us, but like any questions that we have. You guys have been so welcoming and open to us, and a lot of people in the off-road industry have been as well, which I love because it's kind of a little different coming from the drag racing world. It's not always as open. There's kind of more cliques and kind of more like high school, I feel like sometimes. And so yeah, I love that, like, yeah, you guys know your values, you know your boundaries, you know your worth. And that's one of the reasons why I think you guys do really stand out, is because you can tell like you do take it very seriously. And yeah, I love that.
Well, that's a compliment. So, for our listeners, who, especially those of you who don't follow Megan yet, first off, follow her new stuff, especially like your new page. Plug your page.
Yes. So I do have, well, I'm trying to bring back my YouTube channel actually, but yeah, I've been doing a lot more vlogs this year. So I've been recording the races that I've done with short course. I've done a couple drag races this year, but yeah, the plan is next year we are going to be doing like 15-ish short course races next year. We have decided to create a new team page for that. So it's called Rock Creek Racing. And we haven't really posted much yet on there yet because I'm just still trying to figure out exactly what we're doing with the page. As of right now, I've been posting more over on YouTube to try and grow that and just sharing all the behind the scenes of us getting machines, working on them. So Adam did buy another side by side, and that is one that he is going to use kind of more for Ultra 4 racing and the endurance races in the short course world. because that's more of what his matches up his background with the dirt bikes. And so they chopped the roof off of it, built a new cage on it, and then we actually took it to the sand dunes this last weekend because that's our favorite thing to do ever is ride at the sand dunes. He crashed head on with someone in the trails and it broke the upper control arm, I believe. And so the tires like sideways now. He was able to drive it back to the pits. Thankfully, like in the sand, it just like we ratchet strapped it back up straight and he's able to drive it back. And it just kind of like the sand just kind of like drug through the sands.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've got some more work we need to do to this machine. But the first race that we're going to do with it is going to be in December. So it's the weekend before PRI. We're going to go down to Texas and there is a short course race and then they're doing a 12-hour endurance race. I believe they're going to go on the short course track and then go into the woods and that'll be like one lap. So yeah, so we're really looking forward to it. But yeah, we're going to be posting more about that on the Rock Creek Racing pages, Facebook and Instagram. And then yeah, just kind of we also want to share like we're really into hunting outdoors. And then we do have a practice track that we built. So we'll be sharing more of that and of course all the barn kitties that we have down there at the farm
Yes.
now.
So, okay, I know that you've got obviously your new page started for, the side-by-side racing with you and Adam. Why did you make a new page versus just putting it on like your Megan Meyer racing stuff?
Okay, good question. So I have because of my career, I have a very drag racing heavy fan base, especially on Facebook. On Instagram, it's more other racers that I follow that follow me through all different types of motorsports.
Yeah.
But especially on Facebook, it's just like 90% drag racing fans, which I love them. They're very passionate. Like they'll cheer me on through anything, but they will comment like, "Hey, when you getting back in a dragster?" And so I decided that it would be better to kind of keep it separate. And then that way I can still post, more personal stuff, anything I want to, I can still post over on my pages. Because I will still be involved in drag racing with my dad's team. I just might not be driving next year. Still haven't figured out a schedule yet. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so just one that's kind of more dedicated just to off road. But like I said, we want to infuse like outdoor lifestyle into it as well and like more family content there because we're doing it as a family and having a son like we're not going to pressure him to get into racing but we do want to share like his journey if he does decide to follow in our footsteps. So, yeah. And I've noticed that, I mean, like I said, on Instagram, I have more like racers that follow. And so with Instagram, it's easy to, collaborate. And so it shows up
Oh
on the
yeah.
rock. So that's all I've really done right now is anytime I do a short course or, side by side video, I will just have the Rock Creek Racing be the collaborator. But yeah, going into next year, I do want to have just more posts on those pages. And so that way, if it is someone that comes from the short course world and they, want to follow along, they can.
Yeah. I love that because it really highlights the fact that, your brand is also based off of your fan base. You have to tailor your message
Yeah.
to the people that are following you, and if you change that brand, like in your case you're changing the sport entirely, and if the reason why people follow you is the sport that you're in and then you change the sport that you're in, you're going to have a really disengaged fan base. So
Yes, and I have noticed that, like, it's been 5 years since I have raced professionally in drag racing, and yeah, I mean, there has been a huge dip in engagement and followers. I mean, it's been stagnant. Like, it's been stagnant for, yeah, the last, like, 2, 3 years, and I've gone through all different transitions since then, like, more of the educational content, more family content, so kinda it's just, like, that's gonna kind of be anything about Megan will be on the
yes.
Megan Meyer racing pages. And then yeah, like I have the motorsports marketing tips, so more educational stuff will be over there. And then more off-road racing will be on the Rock Creek Racing. And then, of course, drag racing stuff will be on the Randy Meyer Racing pages. But yeah, so just kind of, I don't know. I feel like it is, like you said, it'll help people stay engaged on what they want to follow.
Yeah.
And also it gives Adam a platform too to
Yeah.
kind of be on socials. He does have an Instagram, but it's just a personal account. He posts on there like maybe once a year.
Hmm.
Like usually for like my birthday or Henry's birthday. Like that's about it. I don't even know if he might have posted this year. I think he did a birthday post this year, but that's it. So, and he is someone that did not grow up with social media. He's older than us. So, this is like, he's not comfortable being on camera. Like he wants to just work behind the scenes, but he married me. So he knows that like he's got to be on camera sometimes, or he's got to at least be the person taking a picture or video for me. So he's
Yeah.
kind of learned over the years, like, what all you need to do on social media. And he loves to follow all the racers. So he likes to see the content. And he's starting to realize, like we can get sponsorships from it or we can get monetization from it. So he's starting to see like, oh, okay, this is something that could benefit us. So he is willing to show up more on camera. And so this page will kind of like, hopefully it's a good split between the both of us. And
Yeah.
yeah, just being able to see his personality more and yeah, the fans to get to know Adam.
Yeah. That's fascinating that, it's kind of that family space for you because I didn't really realize it until we were talking just now, but like we've got our VDE Racing page and then Chris has his own following on his own, I'd say personal profile, but it's still a professional page, like his persona page. Like we sat down and talked about like what goes on VDE Racing, what goes on Chris's profile. And VDE Racing we've determined is really a space where we highlight like what the team is doing and some like high level like where are we racing? How did the race results go? The fan base is a little bit different there because they're much more focused on like the racing side of it versus Chris's personal profile is like he'll go mountain biking and post about that, or it's his kind of behind the scenes updates on his personal perspective on what's going on with racing and like the shop updates and the things that he's working on. And it's really interesting to like think about like where do we put what kinds of content on social media so that people know what to consume and where. And we've got some big changes coming in this next year for our team. And it's going to be really interesting to see how that changes the dynamics on our social media pages too. There might be a little bit more focus on Chris's part of our program than on the rest of the team. Not that there wasn't already, but I think it's going to be amplified even more. So that'll be really interesting to see though how that affects that dynamic between the two pages.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so speaking of, so I've been following this build for the two-seater. So is that something that is just going to be like a display truck, or can you actually like, are you going to give people rides like on the track with it? Because I want to be the first one.
You got to get on a list, Megan.
Yes.
I think actually I was told I get to be the first one. So
Okay, yes. I want to be number two.
So the two-seater is going to be used promotionally to give people rides. Right now, we've got kind of in the talks, we talked about different ways to like provide value to your partners, social media being one of them, right? We are talking to Nexen Tire about how do we partner with them to give experiences to their customers, to their internal people, things like that. We've got, now I get to say it. Oh, I get to say it. I think this is the first time I actually get to announce this, but
Okay.
Chris put it on his page already, but we just partnered with Royal Purple for the
Oh,
two-seater
okay.
for SEMA.
Yeah, I saw that post.
Yes,
Awesome.
which if that branding doesn't line up really well, right? Purple cars,
Seriously.
purple oil. But same thing, we're talking to them about like, okay, maybe like a full-blown partnership, isn't really what you're looking for at the track, but what if we can use a two-seat promotional event for something like it doesn't have to be a year-long partnership with a sticker on our race truck. now the two-seater gets to act as its own standalone product
Yeah.
outside of our race team. So that'll be really interesting again to see like how do we position that piece in our social media, because are we going to be promoting products and stuff that are really specific to just the two-seater in the rest of our social media? I don't know. I think that's something we're going to be figuring out as we go, but we're going to be using it for like creative content. So I know you saw like the dirt and smoke video that Chris did with the Formula Drift drivers. That was in his race truck. And it was like, oh my gosh, like what if something were to happen to this truck? This is his competition vehicle. So we had to wait till November when we weren't racing anymore to go do that. But now, if we're in between races and we've got an opportunity to do some really creative content, we have another truck to do that with. So it's not just the two seats that's valuable. We also have that security of having that vehicle for stuff like that. And on top of that, he's been really careful to make sure that it stays race legal within certain parameters. We're talking about like if we bring on like a wheel partner, we can put 17-inch wheels instead of 16-inch wheels on it. It doesn't have to be race legal for show, but it can very easily be race legal if he were to need it as a spare truck too.
Yeah. So you could race a two-seater truck?
Yeah, right now actually, because this is so weird. I'm in the house by myself because Chris is on his way to SEMA right now with the two-seater. But the two-seater right now only has one seat in it, and he's got panels over where that second seat goes. So
Got
right
it.
now you wouldn't know that it's not just
Mm.
his standard competition truck.
Okay, got it. That's interesting. Because I know it's Cole Mamer, right? Because he gives
Yeah.
rides during the champ races, which I've signed up well, I mean, I've only been to two champ races, but I've signed up both times and I didn't make it. Is that something that like you would do like at the champ races?
Maybe. So I know he's doing that, I think in conjunction with Yokohama. I think that's the partner that he's working with on that. I could be wrong. Sorry, Cole, if I am. But I know he's doing like data collection for one of his partners with that. And I know
Mhm.
that they are working with Champ for that. So I
Mm.
will say Champ, if you are not giving them value, they're probably not going to let you do that. I don't know that we would have the partnership there to make that happen at the racetrack during a race event. I don't know that we wouldn't either. So, that's something
Yeah.
to play with maybe in the future. But it's funny, I was talking to Cole. He was actually just up here in Wisconsin, but he stopped by and we went to the Van Epren's shop party was last weekend. So we were sitting there chatting with Cole and he's like, "Do you know how many people offered to pay me to like win that ride along?" He's like, "So many people wanted it."
Yeah, yeah, that's the coolest thing ever. Because I mean, I like fingers crossed, like on our schedule. I know I said we'll do maybe like 15 races next year, but I mean, we're for sure going to do champ at Wheatland next year. And
Yay.
now like I've got so many laps now at Wheatland. So I feel like I could do decent. I just haven't been, I mean, there's like 30 side by sides in like the sportsman class. And like
Yeah.
at our regular races, there's like eight. So that'll be, yeah, something to get used to. But yeah, I feel like that would be so cool to do because like seeing the action on the track, like first off, it's an amazing sport to watch, like because you never know what's gonna happen. But yeah, then like the second best is yeah, like being able to get into like a two-seater and be on the track yourself. Yeah, I feel like that's such a cool opportunity. And hopefully Champ does see the value in having you guys do that as well. Cause I mean, yeah, I feel like there's so many possibilities you could get with that, especially with
Mhm.
like getting data acquisition and all that, like all the leads that you get from people signing up. Like I feel like that's
Yes.
such a great asset to have.
Yes. So we've been doing some data in our pits just with a giveaway for this year. We gave away Chris's race suit from a prior year, not the one, not the one that you have. If nobody has watched closely enough in Megan's videos, she's wearing
Yeah.
Chris's suit and it says Chris on it. It's fantastic. So we gave away a race suit, which I sent out our newsletter announcing the winner, and they need to email me their shipping address, and they haven't
Mhm.
yet. So if you are on our newsletter, make sure you check the email and see if you
Yes.
are the winner. But that's how we've gotten data, right? And some of the data that we've gotten is so powerful. Like We have 80% of the people that signed up for our Pit Pass newsletter. 80% of them said that they are more likely to support a brand that partners with VDE Racing. And so now I get to turn around and tell partners, hey, 80% of our fan base says that they are more likely to purchase your product if you partner with us than if you don't. And that's a really powerful tool. But that aside, we've been collecting it with, this small giveaway. We're giving away this race suit this year. And I was talking to Cole, and the numbers that he gave me just from Glen Helen, where we don't have an established fan base as a sport anymore, right? Short course hasn't been out there since 5 years ago, before Lucas Oil stopped racing there. And just the numbers that he collected at Glen Helen were 3 times more than what we collected all year in our giveaway. So his numbers were amazing for collecting data.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, and kudos to you, like for asking that question, like for the people that sign up for your newsletter, because yeah, like that is like very important to have, and just to be able to like go to companies and say, hey, like our fans like are dedicated and like they will support you, if you support us. So I love
Yes.
that.
Yeah. And we asked some really targeted questions based off of partnerships that we want, not
Yeah,
necessarily the ones that we have.
that's
So,
it.
like, we
Yeah.
asked in the next 12 months, what are you likely to purchase? And we had 10 different options. And so, like, I learned, I didn't know this, 45% of our fans are looking to purchase a new vehicle in the next 12 months. And so I can go to a brand and say,
Yeah.
like, hey, Ram or Toyota or GM, right? Like, our fan base is actively shopping for a vehicle. Half of them are going to buy one in the next 12 months, and 80% of them are more likely to buy one that we tell them is great.
Yes. Done deal. It should be so easy.
Exactly. And what's really cool is like you get some of that demographic info from the series, but the series attracts a more broad demographic than our team does. And those people who relate to our team, first off, they're going to be far more loyal to our sponsors because they're relating specifically to us. But it's also a different demographic entirely. So the series might be saying, hey, 15% of people are shopping for a new vehicle. I don't know if that's right. I just made that up. But maybe our demographic is more actively in that purchasing mode right now. And
Mhm.
so, that's something that's really, really valuable on a much more granular level. Even if you don't have huge numbers, that's still really
Yeah,
valuable.
yeah, for sure. Okay, we'll do a plug. Where can people sign up for your newsletter?
Yeah. Okay. So I haven't put it out in a while. It was just at the pits, but there was a
Okay.
Facebook post on VDE Racing. And I think it was titled, like, you probably don't know this, because it was mostly in person since we were doing this cool giveaway. But if you find that post on Facebook, you can type in the chat just like Pit Pass, and it will sign you or send you a sign up link. I'll make a point to post that again when
Yeah.
we release this, so that there's an easy way to sign up. It'll just be one of our recent posts on the VDE Racing page.
Yes. Yeah, because we're gonna, I think, yeah, because we're not posting this right away after recording. So by the time
Yeah.
it does go up, yeah, they can go and see that newer post.
Yes, exactly.
Well, should we end with that?
I think so. Yeah, we've covered so much today about how to make money with social media and whether or not that's a sponsorship, and, how that looks for both of our teams, and, a little bit of racing stuff on the side here, how to get some more value out of your partnerships. But yeah, this is awesome. I'm so excited to be on here with you, Megan. I think we've got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and I can't wait to just continue giving what experiences we've had to our racers.
Yeah, yeah, that's what this is all about. Kind of, yeah, sharing our experience, our knowledge, and yeah, hopes that it does help someone out there that maybe they're brand new or maybe they're a third, fourth generation racer, but could still use some help. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the goal. So
Yes. I love
love it.
it. All right. Shall we sign off then?
Yes. So this was episode 2 of the Racer on Demand show.
I'm just going to go with a love you. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.